Hello everyone, in this video lecture we are going to see about programmable interrupt controller 8259A. So this is a interrupt control device which we are going to see it out. So first of all we will see what is an interrupt. So interrupt is the one which needs the immediate processor attention. Okay, it could be the external or it could be because of the software program, okay, or because of some internal execution error. Okay, so something could be the reason. The interrupt, it means that it needs the immediate attention of the processor. And in case of 8086 there are two interrupts. One is non-maskable interrupt, other one is maskable interrupt, INTR. So non-maskable has got the highest priority. So whenever the signal appeared on non-maskable interrupt, the processor will immediately pay attention to that source of interrupt. Then for your maskable interrupt, the processor may suspend it, okay, for some amount of time because of some urgent or internal execution work. Okay, so what will happen if at all an interrupt signal is appeared? So the processor will suspend the current instruction execution. If at all it is in the middle of the instruction fetching the byte from the memory, then it will complete that instruction. Then it will push the status and the accumulator content and the code segment and instruction pointer in the stack pointers. Then it identifies the source of interrupt. Then it goes to the location where it picks up a new code segment and instruction pointer address to serve the source of interrupt, which we call it as an interrupt service routine. Okay, so 8086 has got only one maskable interrupt. So using your programmable interrupt controller, it has got the features like mini interrupt. Okay, so 8086 has got one. It can be extended up to 8 or with multiple interrupt 8259 you can go up to 64 interrupt sources. Okay, hardware interrupt sources of up to 64 you can do it. Okay, and but as a single 8259 it can hold only up to, it can support only up to 8 interrupt, and these 8 interrupts interrupt service routines, they are spaced at the interval of either 4 or 8. Okay, and these interrupts request, they can be masked, that means they can be suspended. Okay, so you have got the software instructions like CLI and STI, that is set interrupt mask and reset interrupt mask. If you are going to reset your interrupt mask, that is clear your interrupt value, that means it will be suspended for some amount of time. Okay, so you can mask each interrupt request individually and you can read the status of the pending request, because whenever an interrupt request is being raised, it will be put up in your interrupt request register. So if at all it is masked, then it will not be serviced, but the request will be recorded in the register, so which can be viewed. Okay, then the interrupts could be of the type whether it could be a level triggered or the edge triggered request. Okay, so your 8259 has got the features of supporting all this. So next we'll see the pin diagram of 8259. So this is the chip select of your 8259, then the read and write signals. Okay, so using the read signals D0 to D7, the content will be read by the processor. So it could be the status information of the registers, or it could be the data transfer that is from the hardware because of the interrupt request. So it could be that. And similarly the write operation, during the write operation the initialization command words of 8259 could be entered. Okay, and this is CAS 0, 1, 2 So this is for cascaded 8259. Okay, so that means you can go for multiple 8259 where one can be serving as a master or driving the slaves. Next you got SP/EN. Okay, this is a slave program input enable. Okay, so if this value is going to be 1, then it is in the master mode, else it will be in a slave mode. INT is the interrupt request, and IR0 to IR7, these are all the 8 interrupt requests it could support. INTA is the acknowledgement, and A0 is the address which says that whether your control word or status word is being accessed. Okay, so this is the block diagram of 8259. So looking to the block diagram 8259, you can see all your interrupt requests makes an entry in the interrupt request register. Then priority resolver will solve which of the interrupt to be executed if more than one interrupt request arises at the same time. So for that, to make a decision, it gets the input from the mask register. If any of this interrupt is being masked, that means they are not given that much priority. So it will check out whether it is masked, means it is being suspended, and then it will check out what is the current interrupt that is being serviced. So with these three as the information, the priority resolver will fix one of the interrupt which is to be which will be selected for execution. And you can see here it is the cascaded buffer comparator. So using this you can connect another 8259, so which could expand the number of interrupts that could be handled. Okay, and this is read-write logic and a data buffer. And these two signals, this is the interrupt request sent to 8086, and this is the acknowledgement that will be received from 8086. Okay, of any of this interrupt, whenever an interrupt request is raised, it will send the interrupt request. Then the processor will send the interrupt acknowledge. So once it gets the interrupt acknowledge, then immediately the interrupt will be pulled out from the request register to service register. Okay, so if at all IR2 is the one which raised the request and it is not been masked, that means it is allowed to be executed immediately whenever the request arises. Then whenever the first acknowledgement signal turns out, okay, it will send out the call instruction. Okay, it will send out the lower byte of your call instruction and upper byte of your call instruction. So by the time the second and third interrupt acknowledge arises, so the complete call instruction where the program control has to be transferred will be sent. So by making the interrupt request, IR2 has made the request, so this request is accepted and it is now in the process of servicing. So therefore interrupt request will be made 0, and in the service register it will be entered as 1. Okay, and then at the third INTA signal, immediately the interrupt, okay, the bit will be set to reset. So there are various ways by which your interrupt request could be resetted. So next we'll see the priority modes. There are 3 modes under which your 8259 can work fine. One is fully nested mode. In case of fully nested mode, the interrupt requests are arranged from highest priority to the lowest. So IR7 will have the lowest priority and IR0 will have the highest priority. Automatic rotation mode. In case of your automatic rotation mode, the last service interrupt will receive the lowest priority. Then specific rotation mode, this is as similar as that as your automatic rotation mode, but except one thing, the user can specify which interrupt request should go for the lowest priority. Next, I said that after the call instruction, that is the address of the call instruction being set, your interrupt service, okay, the interrupt ISR. Okay, so the interrupt set bit will be resetted. So based on the commands, you have the non-specific end of interrupt command. Okay, so this will reset the highest priority interrupt bit and specific end of interrupt command. This will specify which interrupt reset interrupt pin or the bit to be reset, and automatic end of I command. So this resets the bit, and because of this there will not be an entry that is been made in the service register, and that is a drawback of this method, and it does not need any special instruction to send or to reset your ISR bit. Okay, so next we'll see the commands. So there are 4 initialization command and 3 operational commands which we is going to be discussed. So the initial, at least out of the 4, the first 2 are very important. Okay, and similarly for your operation command, the first 2. Okay, so we'll take up the initialization command word. You can see this D0. It specifies that whether it is IC4 needed or no IC4. That is the command word, because the command word 4 will be for master and slave, whether you need that IC4 initialization command word 4, whether it should be needed or not needed. Then single, so only a single 8259 is used, or it is multiple 8259 is used as a master slave configuration. Then ADI, it is call address interval, whether the call address interval of 4 is preferred or 8 is preferred. Next LTIM, it is whether it is an edge triggered interrupt or it is a level triggered interrupt you are going to consider. Next A7 to A5, okay, this specifies the address of the vector address for 8085 mode only. So ICW2 will specify the address for the 8086. So initialization command word ICW2. So here you could see that A15, A14, A13, all this. Okay, so this specifies the address of the hardware, that is the address of the interrupt service routine in case of 8085. And this T3, T4, T5, T6, T7, this specifies the type of interrupt that is been raised in your 8086. Okay, so this will show up the vector. T3, T4, T5, T6, T7 will show up the vectors. Next, initialization command word 3. So initialization command word 3, it is for the master and for the slave device. And command word 4, you can specify whether 8086 mode we are using or 8085 mode is using. And then AEOI, that is automatic end of command or normal end of command. Then it is whether non-buffered mode or buffered mode with the slave, because this is for master slave configuration. Okay, and then SFNM, whether it is fully nested mode or not fully nested mode. Next we'll see the operational command word 1 and 2. Operation command word 1 and 2. Command word 1 is for masking the interrupt. If at all the mask is set, the interrupt will be disabled. If the mask is reset, the interrupt will be accepted. Okay, and then the operation command word 2. Okay, so this specifies, you can see up here the bits are R, SL, EOI. This is the end of command. So end of interrupt command. So you can see this different combinations, whether it is a non-specific end of interrupt command, whether it is a specific end of I command, or rotation on non-specific end of I command, or rotation in EOI, clear, then set the priority command, then no operation. So all this are the different way by which the end of command, that is end of interrupt, to be taken. Okay, and this is the operational command word 3. So operational command word 3, it will specify that whether the device is used in a poll mode or non-poll mode. So this is the textbook I refer. Thank you.